Strong intro, Joseph Murphy style. Awaken the God, within the power that changes everything. My friends, there is a power in you right now that is greater than any challenge you have faced, greater than any limitation you have accepted, greater than any fear that has tried to restrain your destiny. This power is not outside you. It is not hidden in the sky, nor locked in ancient books, nor resting in the hands of another. It is within you, in the silent depths of your subconscious mind, the indwelling God, the infinite intelligence that shapes worlds and transforms lives. You have been walking with greatness while believing you are small. You have been carrying divine authority while thinking you have none. You have been holding the key to a new life, yet living as though the door is locked. But today, at this very moment, a new realization is rising within you. You are not a seeker of power, you are a bearer of power. You are not a beggar at the gates of life, you are the creator of your own experience. The God within you is not asleep, only your awareness of it has been. And the moment you awaken to this inner presence, your life begins to realign. Old patterns collapse, fear loses its voice. Conditions that once overpowered you now respond to your command, because you are no longer reacting to life, you are directing it. This is the secret of all spiritual masters, all healers, all those who rise from obscurity to greatness. They discovered the power within their own consciousness and learned to use it with faith, imagination, and unwavering belief. And now, it is your turn. Today, I invite you to step into the truth that will change everything. You are not separate from God, you are an expression of God. You are not powerless, you are profoundly powerful. You are not meant to suffer, you are meant to create, to expand, to radiate the divine through every thought, every word, every action. The God within you is not a distant idea, not a poetic phrase, not a mystical theory meant only for saints, sages, or philosophers. It is the living, breathing essence of your being. It is the intelligence that moves your heart without your command, the wisdom that heals your body while you sleep, the creativity that inspires your mind with new possibilities. To recognize this inner power is not merely to believe in something greater, it is to awaken to the truth of who you already are. Every individual carries within them a spark of the infinite, a divine current that flows through all life, waiting to be acknowledged and directed. The moment you begin to realize that the God within is your greatest power, your entire perspective shifts. For you, stop seeking strength in the world outside and begin drawing from the limitless reservoir already present within your own consciousness. Most people live their lives unaware of this inner source. They look to circumstances, luck, or other people to determine their worth, their future, and their abilities. They assume that the power to change lies somewhere beyond their reach, somewhere outside themselves, in the hands of fate or societal forces. But the truth is far different. The power that shapes your destiny has always been within you. It responds to every belief you hold, every thought you repeat, every assumption you accept as true. When you recognize this, you stop feeling like a victim of life and begin understanding that life mirrors your inner concepts. Your world is not happening to you, it is responding to you. And the quality of that response depends entirely on the degree to which you recognize, trust, and align with the God within. This recognition is not about dogma or doctrine, it is not about belonging to a particular tradition or following a specific ritual. It is about understanding the spiritual laws that govern all creation. It is about realizing that the same creative intelligence that brought the universe into existence expresses itself through your thoughts, emotions, and imagination. When you think of yourself as small, you limit the flow of this power. When you believe you are inadequate, unworthy, or incapable, you restrict the divine energy that seeks to operate through you. But when you affirm your unity with the infinite presence, when you acknowledge that you are more than flesh, more than personality, more than past experiences, you open the gates for this inner power to pour through in abundant measure. Recognition transforms everything because it shifts your identity from limitation to expansion. Instead of saying, "I can't," you begin to feel, "Of course I can, for the power within me is greater than the obstacle before me." Instead of worrying about what might go wrong, you start trusting that the intelligence within you knows exactly how to guide you. Instead of depending solely on your own effort, you learn to rely on inspiration, intuition, and inner prompting. This is not wishful thinking, it is alignment. And when you align with this inner source, you discover that solutions appear, opportunities open, healing unfolds, and life seems to cooperate with you in ways that defy ordinary logic. To recognize the God within is to recognize your own worth. You are not an accident. You are not here to struggle endlessly or bow under the weight of circumstances. You are here as a channel through which the infinite expresses itself in unique and magnificent ways. When you begin to see yourself this way, you stop begging life for scraps and start claiming your rightful inheritance: peace, abundance, wisdom, and purpose. This is not arrogance, it is truth. And the moment you embrace it, you rise above the old mental patterns that kept you trapped in fear, doubt, and self-limitation. This recognition also brings a profound sense of peace. You no longer feel alone in the world, for you understand that the divine presence is with you, within you, and flowing through you at every moment. You no longer feel powerless, because you know that you are never separate from the infinite. You no longer fear the uncertainties of life, because you realize that the same intelligence that governs the universe governs your path, your growth, and your destiny. When challenges arise, you face them with calm assurance, knowing that the wisdom of God within you will reveal the perfect solution at the perfect time. And perhaps most importantly, recognition leads to transformation. The more you affirm this inner power, the more it expresses in your life. The more you acknowledge it, the more responsive it becomes. The more you trust it, the more miracles flow into your experience. Everything begins with the recognition that the God within you is not symbolic, but real, not distant, but present, not limited, but infinite. It is the greatest power you will ever know, the most faithful companion you will ever have, and the deepest truth you will ever discover. When you recognize it, truly recognize it, you unlock a life beyond anything you have imagined. Your thoughts are not passive wisps drifting through the mind without consequence. They are forces, energies, creative impulses that shape and mold the experiences of your life. Every thought you hold with feeling and repetition becomes a pattern impressed upon your subconscious mind, and from that impression, conditions begin to form. This is not poetry or metaphor, this is the law of the mind, a principle as consistent as gravity. When you realize that your thoughts create your reality, you begin to understand the extraordinary power you hold within you. The world you see around you, the circumstances you face, the opportunities or obstacles in your path, these are reflections of the beliefs, assumptions, and mental images you have nurtured over time. Life responds not to your wishes or hopes, but to the inner blueprint you have accepted as true. Most people live unconsciously, unaware that they are constantly creating through their thoughts. They dwell on fears, replay memories of failure, imagine scenarios of loss, and then wonder why their lives seem to echo these patterns. Thoughts are seeds, and the subconscious mind is fertile soil. Whatever you plant, whether deliberately or by habit, must grow. If your mind is filled with doubt, the fruits will be confusion. If your mind is filled with fear, the results will be limitation. If your mind is filled with bitterness, life will confirm those expectations with experiences that match. But the moment you begin to choose your thoughts consciously, you take back the creative authority that has always been yours. You stop being a victim of old mental habits and start becoming the architect of your destiny. To choose your thoughts consciously is to recognize that you are not at the mercy of the mind, you are its master. You can withdraw attention from anything that weakens you and redirect it toward ideas that uplift, strengthen, and inspire you. Just as a gardener pulls weeds and plants new seeds, you can uproot negative patterns and sow thoughts of abundance, health, peace, and success. This is not forced positivity, it is deliberate creation. You are replacing the old blueprint with a new one. And as you persist, the subconscious mind accepts the new pattern, and life begins to mirror it back to you through changed circumstances, new opportunities, and unexpected blessings. Your thoughts also carry emotional frequencies. The subconscious responds most powerfully to thoughts that are charged with feeling. A passing idea has little effect, but a thought repeated with emotion becomes a command. This is why fear often manifests quickly, because it is felt intensely. But the same principle applies to faith, confidence, gratitude, and joy. When you feel these deeply, you impress them upon your subconscious mind with great force, and your world reshapes itself to reflect those inner states. This understanding gives you tremendous power. You are not bound by the past, by what others have told you, or by the conditions you see today. You can think your way into a new life by consistently choosing thoughts aligned with the reality you wish to create. Conscious thinking also involves directing your attention. Your attention is your power. Whatever you focus on expands in your life. When you give your attention to problems, they grow. When you give your attention to solutions, they emerge. When you focus on lack, you reinforce scarcity. When you focus on abundance, you open yourself to prosperity. The mind is like a lens. You can aim it at the darkness or shift it toward the light. The outer world does not determine your inner state. Your inner state determines how you experience the outer world. And as you maintain new inner states consistently, the outer world must transform to match them, because the subconscious mind must express what is impressed upon it. Conscious thought selection also requires discipline. It means not indulging thoughts that contradict what you want. It means catching yourself when your mind wanders into negativity and gently guiding it back to the truth you choose to believe. This is the mental equivalent of steering a ship. You correct the course again and again until you reach your destination. The more you practice, the stronger your mental muscles become. Over time, choosing empowering thoughts becomes natural. Your mind begins to favor clarity over confusion, strength over weakness, faith over fear. As you grow in this practice, you will see evidence. You will notice small shifts at first, a new opportunity, a moment of clarity, an unexpected solution. These are signs that your inner world is changing. And as you persist, bigger transformations unfold. Relationships improve, finances shift, health improves, circumstances align in ways you once thought impossible. This is not coincidence. It is the law of mind in action. Your thoughts create your reality, so choose them consciously, choose them deliberately, choose them with intention, and life will respond in remarkable and miraculous ways. Imagination is not a child's plaything, nor a fleeting daydream, nor a random mental picture drifting across your awareness. It is the divine workshop of your mind, the sacred faculty through which you shape the substance of your future. Everything that exists around you, every invention, every building, every work of art, every achievement, first existed in someone's imagination before it appeared in physical form. Imagination is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between thought and manifestation, between desire and realization. When you recognize the creative power of your imagination, you begin to understand that you are never limited by your present conditions. You are only limited by the images you are willing to form and sustain within the depths of your consciousness. Your imagination is your blueprint, your spiritual womb, the instrument through which the God within you brings forth new realities. Most people misuse this faculty without even knowing it. They imagine what they fear, and so they live in fear. They imagine worst-case scenarios, and life echoes back those assumptions. They rehearse failure in their minds, and then wonder why success feels distant. Imagination is always creating, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you worry, you are imagining a future you do not want. When you replay negative memories, you are imagining them again and again, reinforcing their patterns. When you doubt your abilities, you are imagining your own limitations. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. It accepts the image impressed upon it and uses its creative power to bring that image into physical expression. This is why imagination, when misdirected, can cause so much unnecessary suffering. But when directed consciously, it becomes the key to transformation. To use your imagination as a divine workshop means to deliberately construct mental images that reflect the life you desire. You begin with the end in mind. You see yourself as already successful, already healed, already at peace, already living the reality you aspire toward. You feel the emotions associated with that fulfilled state. You dwell in the image until it becomes familiar, natural, and real within you. This is not fantasy or escapism. It is cooperation with the creative laws of your mind. You are impressing upon the subconscious a new pattern, a new vibration, a new inner blueprint that must express in your outer world. The subconscious does not argue, does not question, does not reason. It simply accepts what is impressed upon it and moves heaven and earth to manifest it. Imagination works best in a relaxed state of mind. When the conscious mind is quiet, the gate to the subconscious opens more easily. This is why moments before sleep, or during meditation, or while sitting in quiet reflection are so powerful. In these states, you can form clear mental pictures and allow them to sink deeply into your inner consciousness. The more vivid the image, the more powerful the impression. Feel the scene, hear the sounds, sense the atmosphere, and most importantly, experience the fulfilled desire as if it is happening now. When you imagine in this way, you are communicating directly with the God within you, the infinite intelligence that has the power to rearrange circumstances, inspire ideas, and open doors. Consistency is essential. A single imaginative act has some power, but repeated imaginative experiences form a strong and enduring blueprint. You must return again and again to the scene of your fulfilled desire until it becomes more real to you internally than any external condition. This inner conviction is what triggers the outer transformation. Life begins to shift in ways you could not have planned. People appear to help you. Opportunities align, solutions emerge, synchronicities occur. What once seemed impossible begins to take shape because your subconscious has accepted the new image and is orchestrating the means for its manifestation. Imagination also has the remarkable ability to bypass the limitations of logic. Logic deals with what is, but imagination deals with what can be. Logic is limited to the past, but imagination is free to create the future. Many of the greatest achievements in human history were considered impossible by logical minds until someone imagined them and held the image long enough for it to become reality. The Wright brothers imagined flight. Edison imagined electric light. Great thinkers, artists, innovators, and visionaries have all used the same inner faculty. They saw the end result in their minds with clarity and conviction before it existed in the world. You have this same creative power. The God within you expresses through your imagination, waiting for you to provide the images, the concepts, and the desires you wish to manifest. You are not limited by your environment, your past, or your current circumstances. You are limited only by the walls you build in your imagination. Remove those walls, and your life expands. Build new images, and your life transforms. Imagination is your divine workshop. Use it with purpose, use it with faith, and use it with the certainty that what you repeatedly imagine, you will eventually experience. Faith is not merely a belief you hold in your mind. It is a spiritual force, a mental vibration, a creative energy that activates the infinite power within you. It is the inner certainty that what you desire already exists in the unseen and is on its way into form. Faith is the bridge between your idea and its manifestation, the invisible substance that turns thought into reality. Doubt, on the other hand, is the great interrupter. It is the mental fog that blocks the flow of divine power, the inner voice that cancels your own command, the subtle force that undermines your intentions. When you understand the spiritual mechanics of faith and doubt, you realize that they are not abstract concepts, but living energies that shape your everyday experience. Faith opens doors, moves mountains, and shifts the very structure of your circumstances. Doubt closes doors, erects barriers, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of limitation. Faith is alignment with the infinite. It is the state of mind in which you recognize that the God within you is greater than any condition around you. It is the awareness that your inner vision is more powerful than your current reality. Faith does not require you to see the path. It only requires you to trust the source that guides you. When you hold a mental picture with unwavering belief, the subconscious mind accepts it as truth and orchestrates every detail necessary for its fulfillment. Faith impresses, doubt suppresses. Faith commands, doubt questions. Faith moves forward, doubt hesitates, and the subconscious mind always responds to the dominant vibration. This means that even a strong desire can be neutralized by consistent doubt. Desire is the spark, but faith is the fire that sustains the manifestation. Without faith, the spark dies out. People often think they lack faith because they don't feel powerful or confident. But faith is not emotion, it is agreement with truth. It is choosing to accept the reality of your desired outcome, even when your senses present contradictory evidence. Faith lives in the deeper part of you, the part that is not swayed by appearances. Appearances are temporary, truth is eternal. Faith attaches you to the eternal. It anchors your mind in the unseen reality that is more stable and more powerful than any visible circumstance. When you have faith, you are not pretending. You are perceiving a higher truth. You are seeing with the inner eye, the vision of the subconscious mind, which operates only on what you accept firmly as real. Doubt emerges when the conscious mind focuses on limitations, fears, or past failures. Doubt is produced by looking at the world through the lens of the senses instead of the lens of spirit. If you evaluate your future by what you see in the present, you will always find reasons to doubt. If you judge your possibilities by your history, you will always feel limited. But faith invites you to look beyond the senses, beyond the past, beyond the physical world. Faith invites you into the realm of divine possibility, where spirit, not circumstance, decides what is possible. Doubt is the voice of separation. Faith is the voice of unity. Doubt says you are alone and powerless. Faith says you are connected to the infinite source and therefore capable of anything that aligns with divine law. Faith grows through repetition. The more you affirm the truth of your desire, the more certain you become. The more you imagine your desired outcome as already fulfilled, the more real it becomes in your inner world. And when it becomes real within, it must express without. This is the law of mind. Every great transformation begins with inner conviction. You cannot produce results beyond the level of your belief. Some people try to change conditions while still holding doubt in their minds. They take action without inner alignment and then wonder why their efforts lead to frustration. True creation begins within. You align your belief first, and then action becomes effective. Action without faith is struggle. Action with faith is flow. Faith also brings peace. When you know something is already yours in consciousness, you stop worrying about how or when it will appear. You release the tension, the anxiety, the mental strain. This state of inner calm is itself creative. It signals to the subconscious that the matter is settled. Doubt, on the other hand, produces tension, worry, and mental agitation, signals that the subconscious interprets as uncertainty, slowing or stopping the creative process. Faith relaxes you, doubt tightens you. Faith opens your mind, doubt closes it, and the state of your mind determines the state of your life. To live from faith is to live as a co-creator with the infinite. It is to trust the inner promptings, the subtle nudges, the intuitive insights that guide you toward your highest good. It is to know that every sincere desire planted in your heart is a seed already backed by the resources of the universe. With faith, you give that seed the nourishment it needs to grow. With doubt, you uproot it before it can sprout. Choose faith, and the God within you rises, expands, and expresses through your life in ways that bring harmony, abundance, healing, and success. Choose faith, and the infinite begins to work miracles through you. The subconscious mind is the silent power behind everything you do, everything you attract, and everything you become. It is not limited by logic, time, or external conditions. It does not argue, analyze, or question. It accepts whatever you impress upon it and expresses that impression in the world of form. It is like rich, fertile soil that makes no distinctions between the seeds planted in it. Whether you plant seeds of fear or seeds of faith, seeds of lack or seeds of abundance, seeds of sickness or seeds of healing, the soil accepts them all and brings them to life. This is why the words you speak, the thoughts you repeat, and the images you dwell upon are of the utmost importance. Every impression becomes a blueprint. Every blueprint becomes an experience. The subconscious mind obeys every impression, which means you must be extraordinarily deliberate about the words you say and the thoughts you allow to linger in your consciousness. People often underestimate this power because the subconscious works quietly. It does not announce its movements. It does not boast of its abilities. It simply responds. It accepts every repeated thought as an instruction. If you constantly speak about your problems, you impress the idea that those problems belong to you. If you speak of lack, I can't afford this, money is always tight, nothing works out for me, you instruct the subconscious to reproduce conditions that mirror those beliefs. If you dwell on sickness or weakness, the subconscious accepts those impressions and governs the body accordingly. The subconscious is faithful, but it can only give you what you give it. It only mirrors. It only reflects. It only expresses what you accept as true. Therefore, the words that come from your mouth are not small things. They are commands to the deepest, most creative part of your being. This is why you must speak only what you want, never what you fear. When you declare, "I am healthy," even if appearances suggest otherwise, you are impressing the image of health upon the subconscious. When you affirm, "Everything is working out for me," you align with the vibration of solutions rather than problems. When you say, "Money flows to me easily," you are planting seeds that must grow into opportunities, ideas, and conditions that reflect abundance. The subconscious does not judge the truth or falsehood of your statements. It simply takes them in and expresses them. So many people speak carelessly, unaware that their words are shaping their future experiences. They create their own difficulties through the repeated misuse of this inner power, not realizing that they are commanding the subconscious toward outcomes they don't actually want. To speak only what you desire is not denial, it is direction. You are not pretending that unwanted conditions do not exist. You are choosing to give your creative attention to the conditions you wish to experience. The subconscious mind responds to your dominant impression, and the dominant impression is created through repetition, emotion, and imagery. When you consistently speak words aligned with the life you desire, the subconscious begins to reorganize your outer world to match those words. People show up, ideas emerge, circumstances shift, opportunities unfold. The outer world bends to the inner directive. Your subconscious mind is also deeply influenced by your self-talk. Every time you criticize yourself, diminish your abilities, or call yourself unworthy, you are reinforcing a mental pattern that shapes your behavior, your confidence, and your destiny. To speak well of yourself is not vanity, it is spiritual responsibility. When you affirm your value, your strength, your intelligence, your wholeness, you are feeding the subconscious with truths that uplift and empower you. The subconscious responds by guiding you into situations that match your elevated inner state. It inspires you with ideas, strengthens you in action, and aligns you with people and circumstances that reflect the new self-concept you have adopted. The subconscious also responds to emotion, so your words must carry conviction. A weak statement repeated without feeling has little power. But a statement spoken with confidence and certainty penetrates deeply. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It is filled with emotion. When you say, "Thank you for my success," or "Thank you for my healing," with genuine feeling, the subconscious registers that the condition is real, because gratitude is an emotional response to something already received. In that state, you bypass doubt and impress the subconscious with clarity and power. The more deliberately you choose your words and your thoughts, the more deliberately you design your life. You stop living by default and begin living by intention. You stop reacting to conditions and start creating them. You stop repeating the old patterns and begin building new ones. The subconscious mind is always listening, always absorbing, always responding. Speak only what you desire, and your subconscious will obey. Speak with faith, and your life will transform accordingly. Alignment with the inner presence is the highest state a human being can achieve, for it is in this alignment that life transforms from struggle into flow, from confusion into clarity, from fear into confidence, and from limitation into limitless possibility. The inner presence, the God within you, the infinite intelligence, the silent guiding power has always been active, whispering through intuition, nudging you through desire, illuminating ideas, and drawing you toward your highest good. But most people live disconnected from this presence because their attention is absorbed in the outer world, in appearances, in problems, and in the noise of daily life. Alignment begins the moment you turn inward and recognize that the source of your strength, your creativity, your healing, and your guidance is not outside, but within. When you align with this presence, you synchronize yourself with the highest frequency of your own being, and everything in your life begins to reflect that harmony. This alignment is not forced, it is allowed. It does not come through effort, tension, or strain, but through openness, receptivity, and trust. You align when you quiet the mind long enough to listen to the inner voice instead of the chatter of fear. You align when you choose peace instead of reacting impulsively. You align when you trust that the wisdom within you knows exactly what steps you need to take. You align when you follow intuitive nudges, even when they do not make logical sense. The inner presence does not shout, it whispers. It does not push, it guides. Its guidance is subtle, gentle, and profoundly intelligent, and the more you lean into it, the more clearly you perceive it. The outer world may present confusion, but the inner presence always offers clarity. The outer world may appear chaotic, but the inner presence remains calm. The outer world may shift and change, but the inner presence is constant, stable, and infinitely wise. Alignment with the inner presence brings a sense of effortless flow into your life. You no longer feel as though you are forcing outcomes or struggling against circumstances. Instead, you find that things begin to unfold in surprising and harmonious ways. Opportunities appear unexpectedly. Solutions reveal themselves at the perfect moment. People show up precisely when needed. Ideas arrive with ease instead of pressure. This is not luck, it is alignment. When your inner state is in harmony with divine intelligence, the outer world mirrors that harmony. What once felt difficult now becomes simple. What once seemed impossible becomes achievable. Life begins to feel as though it is moving with you instead of against you. This alignment also transforms your emotional world. You no longer live in fear because you trust the presence that guides you. Fear loses its authority when you realize that you are not navigating life alone. Anxiety diminishes because you understand that the inner presence has solutions you cannot yet see. Doubt fades because you know that the power within you is greater than any challenge before you. This inner security does not come from blind optimism, it comes from experience. The more you align with the presence, the more you witness its results in your life, and your faith becomes unshakable. This is the peace that spiritual teachers speak of, the peace that comes from knowing that the infinite is within you, working through you, and unfolding your path in perfect order. Alignment also elevates your creativity and intuition. Ideas come faster, more clearly, and with greater impact because you are no longer blocking the flow with resistance, worry, or self-doubt. You begin to sense when to act and when to wait. You feel inspired to take steps that lead to breakthroughs. You become more confident in your abilities because you recognize that your talents are expressions of the divine within you, not isolated efforts of the ego. The inner presence expands your perception, allowing you to see possibilities where others see obstacles. It reveals opportunities where others see closed doors. It gives you clarity where others feel confusion. You begin to operate at a higher level of intelligence not because you have changed intellectually, but because you have aligned spiritually. Perhaps the most beautiful transformation that occurs through alignment is the deep sense of purpose that arises. You begin to feel that your life is not random, that your desires are not accidental, and that your journey is guided. The inner presence reveals your unique path, your unique gifts, and your unique calling. You no longer feel lost or uncertain about your direction because you realize that the guidance you need has been within you all along. You feel drawn toward activities, relationships, and goals that resonate deeply with your soul. You feel repelled from situations that drain your energy or limit your growth. This intuitive navigation system becomes so strong that you can no longer ignore it. Your life becomes purposeful, meaningful, and aligned with the highest expression of your being. To align with the inner presence is to step into your true power. It is to live from the highest dimension of your consciousness. It is to allow the God within you to express fully through your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your decisions. When you live in alignment, life does not become perfect, it becomes miraculous. You move not by force, but by flow. You rise not by effort, but by grace. You live not in fear, but in wisdom. And every area of your life, health, relationships, success, peace, begins to reflect the harmony of the infinite presence within you. In this moment, as you stand at the threshold of your new awareness, remember that nothing outside you holds the power to determine your destiny. The God within you, the infinite presence, the silent intelligence, the creative life force, has been waiting for your recognition. It has been waiting for you to awaken to your true identity, to realize that you are far more than a bundle of habits or a product of your past. You are a spiritual being endowed with the very power that shapes worlds, heals wounds, opens doors, and transforms lives. Every truth you have heard today points to one central revelation. The source of all change, all growth, all abundance, all healing, and all success resides within your own consciousness. When you recognize the God within, you reveal your own greatness. When you choose your thoughts consciously, you step into your creative authority. When you use your imagination as a divine workshop, you begin shaping a future worthy of who you truly are. When you activate faith instead of allowing doubt to diminish your power, you set the law of mind into motion. When you speak only what you desire, you instruct the subconscious to manifest a life aligned with your highest vision. And when you align yourself with the inner presence, you open the door to guidance, inspiration, miracles, and an effortless flow that carries you exactly where you are meant to be. This is not philosophy, it is not theory, it is the truth that governs all human experience, the truth that has elevated ordinary individuals into extraordinary creators. And now, this truth is yours to embody. Your life from this moment forward is not bound by what has been, it is shaped by what you accept as true right now. You have the power to rewrite your story. You have the power to rise above every limitation. You have the power to create a future that reflects your highest self. Let today be the day you step into that power. Let today be the day you stop repeating the old patterns of fear and doubt. Let today be the day you declare that your mind, your imagination, your faith, your words, and your inner presence are the tools through which the infinite expresses itself through you. You are no longer waiting for life to change, you are changing it. You are no longer seeking miracles, you are becoming the channel through which miracles flow. You are no longer hoping for a better future, you are creating it with every thought you choose and every belief you embody. Walk forward with confidence, walk forward with clarity, walk forward knowing that the God within you is your unfailing guide, your eternal strength, and your limitless source. And as you align with this truth, life will rise to meet your new vibration. Conditions will shift, opportunities